Hello everyone, and welcome to Blind Beauty. I'm Jennifer.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Blind Beauty. I'm Jennifer. So what we're going to do today is Tutorial Thursday. So we're going to do some Throwback Thursday today. I hope that you like this, and if you do, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. I believe I'm in the shade 220, and then I mix it with, I believe it's 322. I don't show the tops of them, and I can't remember right offhand, honestly. But I mix these two shades together in order to get just the right shade. I use the back of my hand to do it. You can do this on the back of your hand. You can do it in a bowl. You could even use like a paper plate and do this if you wanted to. But I do it on the back of my hand just because it's faster for me. And it takes a little bit of time just to get exactly the right shade. So, I take my time doing that. And I have a wet Miracle complexion sponge because I wet it in a cup that I showed. And I get that good and wet and wrung out. And then I dip it into the foundation. Kind of blend it together using that sponge. And then I will use that sponge as well to put it on my face. But I tend to go overboard mixing it. So, it's easy to go too much of one shade whenever you're trying to mix your own custom shade. So, and you might hear things on my end from time to time, whether it's dogs or my phone going off or whatever, and if that bothers you, I apologize. But I'm taking the Miracle complexion sponge with some of that stuff on it and dotting it all over my face. And really just kind of blending it in as I go, pretty much. Dotting it all over. You just take this sponge and you kind of bounce it up and down on the face. You really just beat your face with it. Beat your face. No, you don't want to beat it. But, you take it and dab it on really good. And you can do circle motions, too. I do that on my forehead some. But usually I'm doing bouncing up and down as well. So, and this is a little bit crazier video than normal. I'm talking to myself, I'm joking, all that stuff. And a little tip to put your hair back before you do this. I didn't, so I'm having to hold my bangs up while I do this. But you can do that, or you can put your hair back. I do both, actually. So, and I'm sitting there talking to myself. I have a lot of background noise in the original of this, otherwise I would have talked over it. But I think that could be very distracting. Make sure you get under the eyes and on the eyes. At least I do. Some people choose not to, but I do it. And I make sure to blend all the way down the neck. That way it doesn't look like a mask as much. Because I always worry that it doesn't match me just right. So I make sure to get all down the neck and the sides of the face real good and all that. So that there's no obvious line. So, and then I go ahead and mix a little bit more up. Just a little bit more, I said. And this doesn't take as long because I know more about how much I need of each one. I'm just kind of singing to myself and talking to myself in this video. So, being goofy. It's a little bit of a crazy day whenever I did this video. But then I take that and I just continue applying on my face, dotting it on, and focusing more on areas that I might need some more coverage. This foundation is not the most, full coverage foundation, but it is passable for me. So I'm really making sure I cover any areas I need to, and then if it needs a little something extra, I'll sometimes pat it in with my finger instead of using the sponge, but, this works. But it just takes trial and error. That's makeup. You gotta play with it, you gotta figure out what works, and use the right kind of mirror. A magnifying mirror really helps. I mean, that's what I'm using in this video. It's in the background. But really just have fun with it. You do what makes you comfortable. Now, I'm brushing my hair down and out of my face more than I was. You might end up seeing a hair tutorial eventually with this on. With this hairstyle, rather. So let me know by giving me a thumbs up and commenting down below if you want to see this hairstyle in a tutorial. Because I'd love to do one. Because I've already got the footage, rather. This was originally going to be a full-on get ready with me. Impromptu get ready with me. Because I didn't have a single thing laid out. This is really how things work in the mornings that I'm getting ready most of the time. So, I have trouble finding what I want. I have trouble knowing if it's the right shade. I have, the beauty of getting ready. So I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in medium. I get that on my ring fingers, pretty much, a little bit of it. I took the little sponge off so it's easy to get out. Put some on my finger and then dot it, well, basically dab it between each ring finger. And then pat it on underneath there real good. And I basically just try to do as good of coverage as I can. Now this concealer is buildable, so, I go in and I add a little bit more after my little dance session here. But I add a little bit more, and I'm showing you that I've got just a tiny bit more. Dotting that on under the eyes some more. So, it just takes, I wanted a fuller coverage for this look today that I did, because I'm using my absolute favorite Throwback Thursday palette, because, it's a great look. I love the Coastal Scents palette, revealed palette. I eventually want to get the second, third, smokes, and mattes, eventually, but those are $20 a piece, so, yeah. But then I take that Miracle Complexion Sponge and I blend that out some more. And really just blend everything in. And just really have fun with it. I'm having fun with talking to the camera. Well, mouthing to the camera. I'm not really talking, actually, in this video. But, yeah, I'm mouthing to the camera quite a bit. And I went in and added even more concealer under the eyes. So, really just, building it up, build it up, build it up. Having some fun with it today. So, and then I believe what I'm going to do after I'm done with this is, yes, I'm using the Coty Airspun powder in translucent extra coverage. I realized that I didn't get some of it blended out, so I use my sponge and blend that out before I go in with the Coty Airspun powder. But I fly it around a little bit, and then I hit it on my other hand, opposite hand, just to get a little bit in the lid. And I'm using the sponge I was using on my face and getting it on the tip of it. Really packing that powder on the tip, and then I dab that on the under eye area. What this is called is considered baking. I'm dabbing it on and really packing that stuff on, because that will help with the heat. My body heat will basically be trapped under that, and it will help cement that concealer in my under eye area to where it won't crease as bad. I highly recommend this for anyone that has trouble with creasing, anyone that has trouble with it moving on them throughout the day. Try baking. Baking is a very good thing. Bake that face. Bake that face. I think that's actually what I was saying in that little clip that I was talking to myself. So, really just bake away. Really want to pack it on as full as you can get it. And it'll look really crazy really weird, you know, but, you know, hey, it's worth it, right? It's beauty. So I'm showing you how crazy it looks. Got solid white under my eyes, and I even take that sponge and go down the nose a little bit. Now I'm showing you that we're using the Coastal Scents Revealed palette today. Like I've said before, it's my absolute favorite palette. So many neutral colors. It's a combination, I've been told, of the Naked 1 and Naked 2 by Urban Decay. It's supposed to be dupes for both of those. So, and I'm having trouble putting hair items up out of my way and acting just a little bit crazy. Doing the crazy sign on here. On both sides of my head at the same time. Now that's talent. And I didn't really wash my brushes before this. A lot of times I will clean off brushes, whether it's a deep clean or a basic clean, before I do videos, but I didn't this time, so I'm showing you how it legit is. I'm taking a few brushes. I'm taking the Eco Tools eyeshadow duo set I've got that has 4 brushes overall, 1 on each end, and another blending brush, and using a makeup cleansing wipe and really cleaning them off using that. That is a good idea for those that want to stretch out the deep cleaning, but it is a good idea to clean the brushes pretty regularly, especially if you're changing up colors quite a bit, because otherwise you're not getting true to color. That's why I wanted to clean these off before, I used them in this eyeshadow that I'm using. So I really clean them off as best I can without deep cleaning them. So, but having a little bit of trouble. Well, not having a little bit of trouble, but having a little bit of fun just dancing around and whatnot. Now I'm looking for the Maybelline Color Tattoo that I was wanting to use. And that's the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Barely Branded. I've heard that it's a dupe for MAC Painterly. I don't really own very many high-end products, so, I can't say for sure. But showing you my lids before, really, a little bit. And then I dab a little bit on my fingers, and then I tap it and rub a little bit on the eyelid to get a decent coat of that. And then I decided to zoom you in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. But you can tell the difference in the eyelids there. One is considerably darker than the other. The one that didn't have anything on it at first is. And then I'm just using my finger and blending that in. Now with this, you can stop about the crease. That's round about where I stopped. But you can also go all the way to the brow bone if you're a paler skin tone especially. But on my skin tone in particular, I find I have trouble blending it in if I do that. So, and I'm messing with the camera. I was for a minute going in and out. But I really just get this on and get a smooth canvas for doing the eyeshadows, because it really helps everything blend a little bit better, and it helps it be more pigmented. There's other options like NYX Milk, even the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Too Cool would work, but this is more of a beigey toned eyeshadow. And these are great, have great staying power, not powder. Now we're going in with the Revealed palette here. And I'm showing you what that looks like again. Beautiful colors. So, I'm just making sure that my eyes are completely even as I can, really. It's not important to be as precise with that color tattoo because we are going to work with it some more still. So, but I'm using a big fluffy brush, and I'm going into that very first shade, and I show on the screen a big blow up of it showing you with a paintbrush pointing to the shades that I'm using. I'm using it's basically like almost a buttery toned, a soft butter color yellow. That's the best way I know to me it's like a cross between a white and a yellow. A yellowy white, I guess. And I'm putting that all over the lid, all the way up to the brow bone. This will help set that color tattoo into place, which those will stay on their own, but it does give a smoother canvas for working with other shadows, and we're using quite a few today. So, and then I'm going in with a fluffier side of the Eco Tools brush, and I'm going in with that fourth shade. It's a lighter warm tone. I believe it's a warmer tone brown, but it's a light warm tone. It's not a cool tone, to me at least. I could be wrong. And really putting that in the crease all the way from outer corner to inner corner, and I'm using buffing motions at this point. Really just buffing that into the crease. You know, you go in buffing motions, and that really helps to blow out the color more, because this is going to be our transition shade. It's going to help all the other colors that we use blend smoothly with that brow bone. Now I'm using a flatter brush. I consider it more of a crease brush. And going into that very next shade, it's the fifth shade in the palette on the top row. And that is a cooler tone brown, but it's still a mid-tone. It's not too dark, not too deep, but it's about a mid-tone brown. And doing windshield wiper motions this time. Going about 3/4 of the way in, really. Starting at the outer corner area and going about, like I said, about 3/4 of the way in. I'm leaving that inner corner pretty much open with this shade. And I'm not turning it to where it's getting everywhere. I'm focusing it right there in that eye socket, basically, is what I'm doing. And then I'm taking the smaller shader brush, and I'm going into a bronzy color shade. It is the fourth to the last on the bottom row, and using that and packing it on the actual lid. This is the smaller side of the brush, not the slanted brush, but some people would consider this a smudger brush or whatever. I consider it a flat shadow brush. And packing that on the lid from inner corner almost all the way to the outer corner. You know, you don't have to worry about getting that outer corner as much, because we will be working with that a little bit here in a little bit. But really packing this on the lid, going back and forth, making sure it's even on both lids. You know, and I do go to the outer corner, but like I said, I'm not making sure I go any farther than that. You don't want to go outside of your lid space. You don't want to take it up into the crease or anything like that. But focus it right there on that lid. And then I'm using that mid-tone brown, the transition shade, and really blending all that together so far that we've done. Because you don't want harsh lines, really. So now I'm going in with a deep brown, which is the third to last, I believe, shade in this palette. I have it all up on the screen showing you exactly which colors, and getting it on that same flat shader brush and stamping it at first on that outer V area of the eye. And I bring it up about 1/3 to 1/2 of the way in of the lid, of the crease, I mean. And I'm just really working it on there. I focus it more on the actual outer V, but then I do bring it onto the actual lid, the outer part of the lid as well, to help blend it in with that crease and lid color. Because you can basically blend as you go. That's what I tend to do, what I try to do at least, sometimes. So, and this is a newer look for me. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone doing this. So then I take that big fluffy side of the brush again, and we are going back into that lid shade and putting that on the, really just building up that color again, because some of it has gotten washed away with the blending and the outer V. Alrighty, now we're going to take that third shade in the palette and we're going to put that on the inner corner, just kind of brighten up the area. And I'm using a smaller type brush. Well, the liner brush actually is, I believe, what I'm using at first. And then I take my pinky finger and dot it on that inner tear duct area instead, because that helps it be more pigmented if I use my finger. So that really just helps bring a little bit of brightness back to the look and brightness back to the face. So dotting that on the inner corner and basically like, I say at most like inner fifth or whatever. And then I'm taking that blending shade again and really just blending out the entire crease area so that it's not harsh or anything like that. When in doubt, blend it out. When in doubt, blend it out. Now I'm taking that liner brush again, and I'm going in with the deep brown shade. It's, I believe, the third to the last shade. And I'm doing a little bit of liner on the bottom lash line with this. So, just smoking out that bottom lash line just a little bit. Not going crazy with it. Not going wild. And then I'm also going on the top lash line a little bit just to help add a little bit of definition. And then I switch over to using black and really try to define that upper lash line more. And you can really, sometimes you can even wet a black shadow like this and really make a liner. But I just used it dry in this video. And really just work on that top lash line. I'm not talking about waterline, like inner waterline. But really just do a little bit on that top lash line. Then I'm using a Starlooks eyeliner. It's a fairly thin liner. I could not for the life of me read what the thing says, what the label says. But, and then I'm attempting to do a wing. I'm fairly new at doing wings, so my wings don't usually come out that great, honestly. But I give it my best shot here. This is only like my second or third attempt at a wing. And I do smaller strokes from the inner corner to outer corner. And then I go below and connect it to that wing. That's something Emily Noel 83 taught me by watching her videos. She connects her lower lash line to her top lash line as well. So, and I did that, and then I just kind of used that to help create my wing as well. So, that's a little tip. If you aren't familiar with doing wings, you can start at your lower lash line and really extend your wing up from there to know, like to the tip of your brow, to the tail of your brow. You go that route, and it really helps to tell where the wing should be. So, that's what I did in this thing. Trying my best to make sure they were even. They weren't the best, but they were better than they have been in the past whenever I've done things like this. Now I'm using the Chella, I believe it is. Yeah, the Chella brow pencil. I have all but used this up in this tutorial. So I hope that you hit that subscribe button so that you'll be able to see what other items I have completely used up coming soon. Because I do have that in the works, in the plan, rather. And really just filling in the brows. You do small strokes so that it looks more like natural hair. You know, at least that's what I do, at least. And we're just kind of jumping all over the place, even with this. So, showing you the eye look a little more. And then, honestly, I don't remember every single step I did right offhand, but I'm taking the fluffy blending brush and I'm going into that second shade on the top row and using it as my brow bone highlight. Just kind of highlight that brow a little bit. I decided to go with a more matte, well, more, I can't tell, I believe it's more of a satiny matte, not really shimmery, because we have so much shimmer going on. But doing that, and then I am taking my Big Shot Mascara by Maybelline, Colossal, Big Shot Mascara, and I'm using that on my lashes here. If you can tell, the wand is a little bent. That's something I learned from watching Wayne Goss, one of his videos a few weeks ago. You slightly, very slightly bend it. Don't go hog wild, otherwise it will snap. But slightly bend it and it helps to get in there. But I curl my lashes really good and then take the mascara and give my eyes a good coat. I went out of frame for a moment and I do apologize for that. Sometimes it's hard to do. It's hard to stay in frame, especially whenever I'm not as centered as I should be. But really coating the lashes really good. Upper lashes. I really don't focus as much on the lower lashes, but I really focus it on the top lashes. And you can blink into it, and that helps to really get the mascara on them as well, if you blink into it. So, really just get the lashes good and coated. And a black eyeliner like I used here just helps that lash line appear even fuller, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not a professional. I'm not trained or anything like that. I am completely self-taught, so, you know. But I really build up that mascara as much as I can, because I love full lashes. And this is a good mascara. It really is. And that's where curling the lashes helps. To also help them look fuller and more open. And then I'm taking a comb, an actual comb, and brushing through and getting any clumps and all that out. You just got to be very careful not to get it in the actual eye. So this is a more glam tutorial than I'm used to doing on this channel, but I thought I'd still do it to show you. So, but that's the look, the eye look, basically, and I'm going in and adding even more mascara to it. Now, this is one look that you can do with this palette. Over on my Instagram, if you follow me on there, it's blindbeauty83 on Instagram. I have 4 more looks, or maybe even more, using this palette, because as of the time this video goes up, I have 3 looks using this palette, and possibly we'll have the 4th look, and then this look would make 5, and then tomorrow I'll have another look going up, using this same eyeshadow palette. So I'm just showing you that this can be a very versatile palette. And I really do try to build up that mascara, because the more you work at it, the longer they can look, and really adds volume and definition to the eyes, in my opinion. So just build up that mascara. So, but now some people might not want to wear mascara at all, and that's okay. But, and then I'm taking a fluffy brush. This, I believe, is one of the Mary Kay brushes, I believe, is what I'm using. And I'm brushing off all that baking that we did early in the video. Brushing that off and getting all the excess off my face. Or attempting to. It really takes working with it. Now, you can dip it in the powder, or in a colored powder to do this, which I have done in the past, but I didn't in this video. Then, you know, just kind of checking to make sure everything is looking okay so far. Another good thing about baking like that is it helps to catch any fallout that might fall out due to doing eye makeup. Then I dip back in the Coty Airspun powder, and I'm setting the rest of my face now. Now, you could do that even before you do the eye makeup, but I find it really lets the foundation settle if I wait sometimes. Let it dry down a little bit before I add more powder on top of it, because otherwise some foundations in itself can look kind of cakey. So I'm really just swirling that powder all over my face lightly, and also letting it settle also helps keep it in place whenever I do put on the powder, because otherwise it could move more. I have had some foundations do that because I didn't give it enough time to set. So, and then now I'm going in with a smaller brush. Now, this came from a little kit I got from Walmart last Christmas time, but using that, and I'm going in with the blush and bronzer duo in St. Lucia. So that's a really good duo. And going in with the bronzer, I'm using it more of a contour shade today. Now, this does make a decent contour, even though this particular one does have some shimmer to it. But it doesn't show up as much on my skin, at least. At least, I don't think it does. So, it's a more subtle shimmer. It's not like actual glitter all over the face. And I go on the temples, on the jawline, and then I go down the neck as well. Going down the neck helps to blend in so you don't really have that foundation line. So I really work it down the neck as well. As Melissa Autry used to say, gobble gobble. You know, do that area there like a turkey would. You know, and then I even contour the sides of my nose just a tiny bit as well. A small brush like this that you might get in even a blush kit, for example, works great for doing contour. So, like the CoverGirl Cheekers blush, you could use that and do contour. Then I'm going into the blush in this same palette and swirling that on my cheeks. I start at the apples and work my way back. Really just get it on there and try not to have any splotchy areas, which I cannot see blush, so that is possible. So I try to choose formulas that I don't feel go overboard for me. Now I'm using a small brush. This is actually an eye brush from Real Techniques, but it's too big for my eyes. And going in with e.l.f. Moonlight Pearl and highlighting on the tops of my cheekbones, down my nose, you know, everywhere. Really building up that highlight. And I'm even going on the top of the brow bone, like above the brow, as well. Basically doing like a C shape. from the tops of the cheekbones all the way up. And then I do a little fan shape at the nose to Cupid's bow and on the chin. Really just getting that glow on. Gotta glow, right? So then I use my powder brush and kind of blend everything out to make it look more natural. Although this eye look is not natural at all, I still blend everything together, then kind of show off that glow by dancing around in the light, letting you see how glowy my skin looks. And then, now comes the fun part, and that is finding lipstick. So, oh, the joy, the joy. You could do so many different things with this. You know, I go with one of the lipsticks I use is a red color. It's basically kind of like a MAC Ruby Woo, but it's one that I got off of Wish a long time ago. I highly doubt that this is an actual dupe because it's too pinky in my opinion. It's not really a true red color in my book. So, if someone does have this color, I'd love to know whether it is close to a MAC Ruby Woo. Or if someone has the MAC Ruby Woo, whether that's about what this looks like. Because this is applied full on from the tube. That's what it looks like. So, then I'm going to use a makeup remover wipe and take that off. Really good. And whenever you use red, it's difficult to get it completely off sometime. So you really got to work at it. And really, it can be a hassle sometimes to get every single bit off. And that's what I'm making sure I'm doing here. Getting all of it off. Because it can creep into some of the weirdest spots of the lips. Underneath and everything. Then I'm going in with Maybelline Color Sensational lipstick in Romantic Rose. I love this color. It is so beautiful. It's almost a mauve, a dusty rose color, I guess is what some people would call it. Putting that on really good. So, but you can go so many directions with this look. But that right there is the finished look. Thanks for watching. I want to thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time out of your day to do that. So, I hope that you do subscribe so that you can see whenever I do post a new video. I also hope that you follow us on all of our social media as well. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest, as well as I have a blog where I post different topics on as well that may pertain to this video, may not. I will be posting links in the section down below to where you can find that blog and find all the links to my social media, so I hope you subscribe. Thank you. Photos in this video were done by GMC Photo Editing, so I hope that you will check that page out on Facebook, and I will leave the link down below for you to click on it, so check it out and show her your support.